is Araguz, and I'm here at Paper Gardens. I was one of the judges this year, the poetry judge, and I'm here tonight to help with the ceremonies and celebrate all the good poetry that was written by the youth of McMinnville as well as the adults. A lot of great poetry, ranging from family issues to celebrating nature, as well as going into some metaphysical kind of realms as well. So I was really excited and delighted to judge this year's contest. So thank you to Lisa Olin Harris and Deborah Weiner for all they're doing for the Yamhill County community, and for writing in general. Like it's great to see people like them fighting for the writers of Oregon.
Hi, I'm Tracy Daugherty. I'm here at the Chehelam Cultural Center in Newberg, Oregon for the Paper Gardens celebration in 2019. I was this year's prose judge, which meant I read fiction and nonfiction by children and middle school students, high school students, and adults. And it was a real honor for me to read these manuscripts this year. I was amazed at the range of imagination in both the fiction and the nonfiction. I think that you would have expected a lot of the children's prose to be about talking animals and fantasy, which it was, but what surprised me was what those talking animals had to say, which was not what I expected, which means a great deal of imagination was at work. In the nonfiction, I was most impressed, I think, by the fact that a lot of the adults particularly wrote about childhood memories and often about traumas, about hard times. Prose does depend on drama, which means that unhappiness is usually easier to write about than happiness. But again, the surprise to me was how well these writers approached trauma, and rather than dwelling on the negative aspects of it, they always found something positive in the experience, which was not what I expected, and was quite terrific to see. So again, the entries all surprised me, and they were all quite wonderful to read.
Hi, my name is Kaeden Chapman, and this is the third year I've sent in poetry to the Paper Gardens, and here I am at the Chehelam Cultural Center in Newberg, Oregon. This is the third year I've sent in poetry, and this is the first year I've won. When I write, I think about what's around me and how I'm feeling that day, and I use my mood to write down things that I feel fit poetry. My school is Memorial Elementary in McMinnville, Oregon, and it's really fun there. My tag teacher, Teresa McKeegan, encouraged me to write this poetry for Paper Gardens. The process of writing poetry takes a lot of effort, and it takes time, like one piece by another piece of your poetry. So maybe you have the first 3 lines done, but you can't figure out the next 2 lines, so it takes like another day or 2. Like just constantly thinking about what would rhyme or what would fit there before you can get the poetry done.
Hello, I'm Ava Chauhan. I'm here at the Chehelam Cultural Center for the Paper Gardens book opening ceremony. I am homeschooled, and I won for a poem called Archer's Advice, which I'm going to be reading later this evening. This is my first year doing Paper Gardens. I heard about it at the local library, and I had a poem I really wanted to submit, which I'd already written. I write poems a lot, so I decided to send it in. I was pretty thrilled when I got the email saying I'd won. To a writer my own age, honestly, I'd say just kind of have fun with it. I definitely noticed quite a bit of improvement over the years as I've written.
Hi, I'm John DesCamp. I'm at the Chehelam Cultural Center for the annual Paper Gardens Awards ceremony. I've written some poetry that's been included in the program for this year, and I'm excited to be here because this is going to be the biggest audience that I've ever read my poems to. I found out about Paper Gardens because 2 close friends of mine have been very active in the Chehelam Cultural Center for the last 7 or 8 years, and so I joined, and in the course of things the email went out that said here's the Paper Gardens contest this year, and I thought, why not? So I started writing in about 2000 and was drawn to writing poetry because I fell in love with haiku and some of the shorter forms of poetry, and I liked the idea of expressing myself in tight little sentences that took a lot of work to really hone them down. So fast forward today, I've had a number of books published, and I'm excited about that, but the most exciting thing is just sitting down and writing. So I suppose there's a couple questions you could ask budding poet. One of them is, why do you write? And I can only answer that that's a compulsion. I can't not do it. But what do you write about is a good one for me, because I write about what's inside me that is my response to the world around me. So I was asked if I had any last words, and I'm assuming that doesn't mean what it often means. So the last words I want to leave you with are, for those people who are writing or thinking about writing, the most important thing to do is bring yourself to it, to have it reflect who you are, and not to self-censor. If you're thinking about something, write it down, put it away, take it out a week or a month later, you'll find a whole lot of things in it that weren't there when you first wrote it down. So that would be my advice.
Hi, I'm Lucy Huffine, and I'm here for the Paper Gardens Writing Contest celebration night, and I'm very happy to say that I won a prize for a poem I wrote for the Poetry of Place category. So I'm just thrilled to be here.
Hello, my name is Walt Rosenberg. I'm from Daugherty Middle School. I'm here at the Chehelam Cultural Center to read my traditional poem for all the winners and their parents. So this is my third year winning Paper Gardens. First year I entered a poem in the format like I did this year. Last year I entered a 5-line poem. When I write a poem, I always think of ideas for the poem when I have time. And usually when it comes to me, the first thing I do is start writing. And, I just edit and go through the process. And when it's done, I feel like it's good. I enter it, and it's kind of nervous. It makes me kind of nervous because, it's like, am I gonna win or am I not gonna win? To read at Paper Gardens, it's like it's nervous. The last 2 years when I've gone up to read my poem, my knees have been, literally shaking. It's nervous. But when you get up there, and you start reading, you get really relaxed and it just feels natural.
Hi, my name is Patricia Farrell, and I'm here at the Paper Gardens event in Newberg, Oregon at the Chehelam Cultural Center, which is a beautiful venue. But I'm here to read a couple of my haikus that were selected for the event, and so I'm very excited about that. And I've been, I think, to the last 4 or 5 events, and every year it's so much fun because kids read poetry and short stories, and adults and all age groups and all different subjects, and so it's very fun to be here. So
hello, my name is Kimberly Kahoot. I am the flower maker for Paper Gardens. When I met Deborah Wiener a few years ago, I was new to town. We were introduced and I offered to help as a volunteer for the team at Paper Gardens. We talked about what our gifts were, what we could offer the team, and I'm an artist, I'm a multimedia artist, and making flowers is one of the things I do. So the flowers are made with Italian and German crepe paper and a variety of other materials. We decided on a theme for the colors. I got a great team together and we had a flower making workshop where I taught how to make the flowers, and I also got some hands helping to create them. They do take a long time to make. There are a variety of flowers. I think the one that we decided on was the poppy for this year. We decided on the poppies because of the book cover by Jeannie Cuddleford. Poppies are really quite easy to make. There are only 5 petals on them and a little bit of fringe around a really easy center. So we decided that that would be the flower, and again put together a team, and we started by just creating the stems out of wire, and then putting styrofoam balls on the stems, gluing. Everything is done with a glue gun, gluing the flower stamen around the fringe, and then adding the petals at the very end. Now the petals are kind of interesting because German crepe paper is really malleable. It's a great sculptural medium, and you can do quite a bit with it. You can curl it, you can twist it, and poppies have got these great twisted sort of fringy edges, so they were fun to work with. So we twisted it and we kind of crumpled it up, we beat it up a little bit, and then stretched it out because crepe paper has a great stretchability, and glued it, layered them around in a circle. We had probably three people this year working on these flowers, and it took hours. So it does take time. We cut a lot of fringe, and fringe is kind of fussy. You know, we had fun. We sat around and we talked, we got to know each other, and I think that's why I love Paper Gardens too, is the teamwork in this group is quite amazing. Everybody comes to the table with different gifts, and we just get things done. And Deb Weiner is just such a firecracker. She really creates enthusiasm and excitement about the project. I recently moved here from Canada and have found it actually very easy to meet people in Yamhill County because of these community events. The arts community is so strong here and very welcoming, and one of my favorite events is Paper Gardens, seeing young writers with older writers sharing a stage and seeing parents cheering them on from the chairs. I'm a writer myself and a former journalist, and I really believe that this kind of support is what's going to make our next generation of writers and artists. And so hats off to the Paper Gardens team and to the CCC, the Chehelam Cultural Center, for hosting it. It's a great event. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Santone, and we're here at the Paper Gardens celebration for our 2019. A wonderful event, a writing contest. We were just having dinner at a local restaurant here in Newberg, and the waitress has two children, aged 3 and 5, and she hadn't heard of Paper Gardens. And we told her about it, and she said, I am so excited. I want as much literary and things for my children as I can. And this sounds like a wonderful thing. And for all these years, this is what, 26th year? When I was doing it as a coordinator, our tagline was a writing contest for those 6 to 106. And it really is. When you go to this event, there's going to be 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12, 14, 16-year-olds, and then those old duffers like myself, 75 years old. And we get up and we read our poems that are in a wonderful book that has been produced for the last 26 years by the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County. So anybody who's a writer in the local area, because the criteria for this contest is somebody who works in Yamhill County or lives in Yamhill County, no matter what your age. This year I submit everything, partly because I submit to each category, partly to just support. It's a $10 fee, and the book is great, and if you get published, that's great. But it's also just a wonderful event and contest. And as a writer, then I like to be able to send things off of various kinds of things. One year they have the different categories, portrait plays, haiku, and those things. But I don't specifically write to Paper Gardens because their judges change every year. Next year I guess we're going to have the poet laureate Kim Stafford. So he likes poetry of plays. So there'll probably be some great poetry of plays and stuff. But I just enjoy the fact that it's a local, all ages contest that encourages the word. I talked to earlier today. I met a poet who taught at Portland State, and he's retired. I said, "Hey, you still doing?" He said, "No, man, I'm retired from the word." I said, "You're retired from the word?" He said, "Yeah, I spent my life in the word, but now I'm retired. I'll give myself a break. But maybe I'll come back to the word. But for now, I'm giving the word a break." And I thought, man, don't do that. Don't do that. The word needs you. And, from 6 to 106, the word needs us.
Action.